I have a document today from the mayor of Ottawa's office showing that someone purporting to be Mayor Jim Watson went through the process of requesting a refund from GoFundMe in relation to the convoy to Ottawa. Now, did Watson donate to the convoy, or was something more nefarious at play? I tried to find out, but I was called a liar until the press secretary figured out I knew more than he thought I knew. Today, I'll show you the email from GoFundMe. I'll show you my communications with the mayor's very rude press secretary. And spoiler alert, in the end, they denied that Watson made a donation. They did offer a somewhat believable excuse, but naturally, they tried to make Mayor Watson the victim of convoy bullying. I'm rushing this story out the door today because I think the Ottawa mayor's office is going to leak my story to a friendly media outlet so that they can turn poor Mayor Jim into a victim at the hands of meanies who support the convoy. Now, the mayor's office know that they can spin a friendly media outlet, but I think his press secretary found out today the hard way that they will not be spinning me anytime soon. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we filed for access to information into Mayor Jim Watson's office. We wanted all of his communications with GoFundMe. Now, we were able to do this through your generous crowdfunding donations to our special website, rebelinvestigates.com. So thank you in advance to everybody who makes this very important work possible. We couldn't do it without you. Now, I'm still going through all those communications. I do have a bigger story coming out about those documents. But first, I want to tell you something very interesting, something I found a couple of days ago. I found an email communication between Mayor Jim Watson's official mayor email account and GoFundMe, wherein someone purporting to be Jim Watson asked for a refund to a donation to the convoy, and then he receives an automatic response from GoFundMe. That email was dated February 4th. Here it is. Take a look at it for yourself. Jim Watson, February 4th, and that's his official mayor email account. This is an automated reply from GoFundMe to a request for a refund to the convoy. The document exists. I have it in my hands. And Jim Watson, well, he had been in the media as early as February 1st complaining about GoFundMe and the Convoy for Freedom to Ottawa campaign.
We've asked our city solicitor to see what can be done with the GoFundMe fund that they've raised over $8 million, whether that can be tapped into to pay for some of these extraordinary expenses caused by these truckers.
He wanted to get the whole private fundraising efforts by the Convoy for Freedom with that crowdfunding platform canceled, and ultimately Watson was successful. Here's the CBC article where Watson is calling on GoFundMe to disassociate itself from the convoy protest, and he threatens legal action against GoFundMe, calling the convoy to Ottawa rogue activities. And he says that it's disgraceful that any company would want to be associated with that kind of action that he says he's seen here in Ottawa, I guess bounty castles. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, and I don't know how you couldn't, the Convoy for Freedom was an organic movement that grew out of a truckers' rebellion to cross-border vaccine mandates, and it became an avatar against remaining COVID restrictions here in Canada. It was a nationwide convoy that landed in the capital of our country, Ottawa, where it remained peacefully for 4 weeks until Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoked extraordinary measures of search and seizure of property and bank accounts and crowdfunding efforts. The Emergencies Act, invoked by Justin Trudeau, treated people involved in the convoy like either terrorists or terrorist financiers. You can see our coverage of the convoy at convoyreports.com. Well, naturally, this email that I uncovered prompted a whole host of questions from me. And frankly, immediately, I gave Watson the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just, clicked the refund button to go through the process and see what it's like to get a refund from GoFundMe. Maybe it was an accident, boomer hands, or maybe he donated. Who knows? I didn't. But I have a journalistic responsibility to reach out to the other side when I have these sorts of questions, which I did. Let me show you, because here's where things get weird and ridiculous and unnecessarily contentious to the point where they activate my snark muscles in ways that are going to cause me to be sore tomorrow. Let me show you this most bizarre email exchange with Patrick Champagne, the press secretary for the office of Mayor Jim Watson. You see, I was working on this story late last night, 11:18 Mountain Time, actually, and I fired off this email. My name is Sheila Gunn Reid, and I'm the chief reporter for Rebel News, and I'm working on a story about internal communications from the mayor's office regarding the Ottawa convoy and GoFundMe. My deadline is May 4th at 9 a.m. Eastern. The documents I have indicate a request for a refund to a donation to the convoy that came from the mayor's official email account on February 4th, 2022. Did the mayor donate to the convoy? If not, why did he request a refund? What was the purpose of the refund request sent from the mayor's email address? Thank you in advance for your time in answering, and I look forward to including an explanation in my article. Signed, me. Now, I was unusually polite and professional there, but I did not get it reciprocated. My response came to me from Patrick Champagne. He's the press secretary for Jim Watson, who sends me this. Hi, Sheila. The alleged donation and refund request you are referring to never took place. This is a complete fabrication. Now, what's a complete fabrication? The fact that I physically have the copy of the email? He never really does say. 2 hours later, once I think he figures out I know more than he thinks I know, his tone shifts drastically, and he asks for my help. Sheila, can you please provide us with the email you are referring to? Thanks. And then now apparently we're on an initial name basis only, PC Patrick Champagne. To which I respond, all out of patience with these people. Hi, Patrick. This has certainly taken a turn for the strange, hasn't it? Why are you now asking for a copy of a document I received from your office that you told me was a complete fabrication just a few short hours ago? I have a journalistic duty to reach out for comment. However, instead of a professional response from the taxpayer-funded communications professionals in Watson's office, I was accused of making things up. I was very specific about the date of the document. Find it for yourself. Surely some well-paid bureaucrat in the mayor's office can help you with this. Perhaps you can call in some extra RCMP to assist in the search. My deadline remains the same, May 4th. 9 a.m. Eastern. You can respond to my original questions at this email address. Now, he finally did get back to me. Sheila, my original response stands. Except now he offers the explanation I asked for in the first place. The email you are referring to is a fabrication by someone with ill intent. During the convoy occupation, his words, not mine, someone submitted these reports with Mayor Watson's name and email address to GoFundMe. For additional context, convoy protesters and supporters from all over Canada, the United States, and internationally used the mayor's online forms for invitations and certificates to submit reprehensible comments and flood the general email account. It also appears that they signed up the mayor for memberships and subscriptions to various organizations and magazines, including job alerts for Walmart. Signed, Patrick. To which I respond, that's a reasonable explanation and probably what you should have sent the first time, Patrick. It's precisely why I emailed in the first place asking for an explanation, but instead got an accusation before you figured out 2 hours later that I had more than you thought I had to start with. However, there is only one such request for a refund resulting in an auto-generated email. There is no need to exaggerate the extent to which poor Mr. Watson was victimized by spam email. At least he didn't have his bank accounts frozen. Be better next time. Signed, me. I just thought I should get ahead of the story before Patrick Champagne decides that he needs to leak the mayor's version of events to a less, prickly journalist than me. But the absolute audacity of these bureaucrats accusing me of lying and then asking me for help, asking me for my documents. Then he spent 5 hours today cooking up a somewhat believable excuse wherein Jim Watson, the man who was instrumental in suspending the civil liberties of lawful Canadians, having their bank accounts seized, having them arrested, held for days, and victimized by the outright brutality of interim police chief Steve Bell's police force and their crimes, protesting all that the government has done to them and everybody else the last 2 years. But yeah, Mayor Jim, he's the real victim here, a victim of junk mail, bullied by junk mail. Say a prayer for Jim Watson during these trying times if you can get through the tear gas he had the police spray in your face. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Oh, I'm not even close to done with this story yet. Now I have to file for access to information for their communications about my questions about their prior communications. However, we rely on the support of our viewers at home to help us do this very important work of holding politicians to account when they think nobody is paying attention. If you'd like to help fund our access to information investigations, it's very easy. There's a special website dedicated to just this sort of work. Please visit rebelinvestigates.com to make a donation today. And thank you again to everybody who makes this important work possible.